Hi everyone, how you going? It is Tuesday, it's 3 o'clock, and thank you for joining Swimlab with a video analysis session. We'll be here every Tuesday at 3 o'clock giving you some tips and tricks on videos that you sent in, or videos that are Swimlab swimmers that have come to us for stroke correction, swimming improvement, get rid of those frustrations, and we will go through some above water videos, below water videos, front on videos, highlighting lots of different aspects of the strokes and giving you tips and tricks and ideas on how to improve that. So we've got our swimmer here who came to us quite frustrated with getting out of breath, not being able to swim very long distances without having a break, yet on land very, very fit. Great runner, high cardiovascular fitness, yet swimming was beating her and didn't know how to improve the stroke, lower the effort to get I guess continuous laps swum and a much more enjoyable swimming experience. So the swimmer, what we've got here is what I call a very typical upper body, lower body stroke. Okay, balance. So what do I mean by that? Upper body, lower body. It looks like this swimmer has separated the body upper and lower, and we've got arms constantly circling and pulling, and we've got a bit of a frantic leg kick at the back because a lot of the time the legs and the hips are quite low in the water. Let's start going through some of that stuff again. So the swimmer starts off reasonably well balanced. What we mean by that is head, hips and heels in line. Okay. Breathing position is quite awkward. The head comes very high out of the water. The swimmer is looking up with the eyes and backwards to get the whole head out of the water because, well, that's where the air is, so where else would I go? But we're going to gradually teach the swimmer to breathe in a far more efficient and effective way that doesn't disrupt the stroke this much. Remember, this was the first session about 6 months ago. The swimmer came to us frustrated, out of breath. Now, let's have a look at the head position. Head position is fairly good. We can see the goggles are slightly facing forward, but what we want is that goggle line directly down. If the swimmer relaxes their neck position, the balance in the water would be a lot better. There's a lot of stiffness in the upper neck, back and shoulders. There's a little bit of fear, sometimes oxygen debt, and a slightly panicked headspace that this swimmer was swimming from. So to get them much calmer, moving more smoothly and cleanly through the water, we actually take breathing out of the equation for quite a while. All right, we calm everything down. We coach them skills and drills that get them balanced in the water, head, hips and heels in line, and not climbing out of the water. This is a very typical stressful swimmer's breathing position. Again, looking upwards and backwards, whole head out of the water. Your head weighs about 8 kilograms, so we've got to get that head position much lower in the water, rotating to breathe from the hip and not lifting to breathe, which is a very disruptive part of the swimmer's stroke. Let's go back. Some of the other issues we've got here is the brain, okay, because it's the brain that makes the movements. The brain sends messages, neuromuscular conditioning. The swimmer is used to reaching high over the water, bringing the arm up and over the water, and then reaching as far as they can over the water, which causes this drop in the hips. It causes hyperextension. Let's have a look at the other side. There's a breathing stroke. Again, the swimmer's almost climbing out of the water to breathe. We've got one arm up here, one arm down there, and I say lack of streamlining, lack of a nice streamlined position, lack of balance in the rest of the body that's going to cause a very inefficient stroke. We've got one arm, I say, at 12 o'clock and the other arm almost at 6 o'clock. Not the best position to be in as a swimmer. The arms are constantly moving. And with this position here, again, we're going to see low hips, low feet, quite a hyperextended, almost flat body. When the swimmer turns to breathe, they very much twist the upper body, the chest, the shoulders out of the water to get as high as they can, whereas the hips stay quite flat. So Another example of the stroke being very upper body and lower body dominant. I'm going to point out again those very high, flat, over the water reaching entry. There it is on the other side as well. We can see the turbulence of the splash as the arm comes down heavy on the water. And that big twist of the body to breathe. And look again. I know this isn't an underwater video, but we've got low hips causing drag. The swimmer is constantly swimming against low drag. Lots of drag, low hips, and low legs, instead of a constant position that can be attained if we've got the head in the correct place and a different angle of entry for the arm. We'd have the head, hips, and heels constantly in line, and the swimmer's torso with a little bit more rotation, swimming through weight shift and projecting the weight of the arms forwards and into the water quite differently. So I can see lots of reasons why the swimmer is frustrated and can't swim more than about 25 meters without having to stop for a considerable amount of time for air. We're going to pick up a couple of months later with the swimmer in a session where we were working on recovery arm. And the swimmer is actually doing a specific drill here to help the brain operate a better movement pattern for the arm coming forwards. I'm not going to say over the water because we're trying to discourage the arm from climbing too high over the water. Okay, we're trying to encourage the swimmer. So this is a lovely, look at this position here. I like this position here with the arm relaxed and down. We've got streamlined legs. We've got the head, hips, and heels in line. And we've got a nice bit of rotation here. So the point of this drill was to keep the arm in the water. You can see the drag and the resistance created by the arm pushing through the water actually helps the swimmer engage different muscles to bring the arm forwards and not climb too high over the water. The swimmer with these repeats here was trying to focus on getting the upper arm in front of the shoulder line. There's the shoulder line. So there was a particular focus on getting the arm forwards, okay, without reaching. Notice how the arm is now angled. Remember in the other video, the swimmer was bringing the arm over the water and it was landing very flat on the water. That doesn't really help the balance. So with the arm about to be directed downwards and the head in a better position, okay, we maintain better balance through the body. Now, most swimmers, you'll find, have a stronger side and a weaker side. Now, I know the swimmer here is going for a breathing stroke. Let's get past that breathing stroke for a moment. And back on you get. This is the swimmer. So this swimmer has a very strong left lead and right arm recovery side. The rotation is better, the movements are cleaner, and the exchange of the arms into an extended position here and then gently pulling under the water with the other arm. That's the stronger side. With this side here, well, look at the difference. Look how the swimmer is she's overreaching. She's pushing that armpit, the axilla and the rib cage a little bit too much. The arm is flatter, okay, and I can see one shoulder very much too much in front of the other shoulder, rather than a more relaxed position with the arm down and the shoulders being sort of way more level and more stability through the body. What we see here as well is this kind of arch, this sinking position, because the swimmer has over-rotated. That would probably be enough rotation there through the hip and the shoulder. Legs are nice and streamlined. Arm could be down a little bit more. But because the swimmer overreaches, look at the over-rotation and the sink. There's almost a sink that happens because we haven't got enough surface area to keep the arm, to keep the body up. So when the arm comes over, we've got a little bit of instability. The legs split. So we're still working on keeping the legs nice and streamlined through the stroke cycle. But that will be difficult when the swimmer's over-rotated. And you can see that slight hyperextension there as the arm comes forward. But what are we thinking about? The swimmer was thinking about focusing on getting that arm in front of the shoulder line. So they've achieved it again on this side here, which I'm really pleased about. You can see that arm about to slot down and the exchange of the arms in front. All right, we are coaching front quadrant timing here. We're trying to get the level of efficiency up. We're trying to get the effort level down for the swimmer to enjoy continuous laps and actually start training. So they're able to train, they're able to do longer distances and not be so fatigued at the end of short distance swims. So again, a very specific activity here where I'm getting the swimmer to keep the arms slightly lower in the water, to feel the resistance of the water and to push against that, and therefore recruit different muscles to get the arm into this position. Obviously, when the swimmer swims at their normal stroke, the arms would not be this low in the water. This is a specific drill. But I'm very pleased here with the outcome of getting that recovery arm forwards, not up and over, and sort of slotting in the water at a little steeper angle. That angle there, all right, helps the head, hips and heels stay in line. So we've got that lovely balanced position. When the arm reaches high and flat, we lose the back end, we lose the legs, we lose the hips, we get that hyperextended look, and then the swimmer is swimming against a lot of drag, and that's what we don't want. That's what's causing the high energy cost for the swimmer.